And we are back. You are watching the EtchPlay weekly live show, the best place for all the latest industry games news and discussion. I'm joined by Ben Joy. Hi Ben, how's it going?
Hello, I'm very well, thank you. Yourself?
I'm good. And you are here to talk about Twitch drops, which
I am here
is
to talk.
an exciting topic. It's not one we've actually covered before. It is a little bit close to us at the minute. We've been thinking about it a lot recently. And I guess maybe for the folks at home who don't know, can you start with a summary of what Twitch drops are? Like, what are Twitch drops?
Yes, so Twitch drops at its simplest is something that a game developer enables for its game. For streamers, you can either select specific streamers or allow it for all streamers to sign up for, or kind of a mix of the both, open it to everyone else and give specific stuff to specific streamers. And basically, if me and you wanted to be involved as viewers of Twitch, we would go to Twitch, find a game that we play, then that we own. We connect our account to Twitch with our game, and the longer we watch the stream, the more rewards we earn in a game, and that's dictated by the developer. So when you sign up, obviously, they'll often tell you what you can earn for the length of time that you watch. For example, if you watch for 15 minutes, you'll get X item. If you watch for an hour, you'll get X item. Typically, the way it works is the more you watch, the more you earn, and the better items that you earn. So it's a way for players to watch their favorite games and earn rewards for free in the game.
Yeah. And I guess the aim is to drive Twitch engagement, which we know can be really big business for games, to have a Twitch following, to build a community on Twitch that is regularly engaged with the game. I mean, they become advocates for your game, but they also become bigger spenders typically on the game if they're invested for a long period of time, if you have monetization in the game. And what are the kind of benefits, I guess, that you can expect out of a more highly engaged Twitch community?
So it's twofold benefits. So I guess the first one is to try and bring lapsed players back to the game. So if you played a game, put it down for a while, and then all of a sudden something like Twitch drops comes along, and you can, by not doing anything, you can earn extra things in the game. It's an incentive to watch the game being played and get back into it. So it's bringing those lapsed players back, and then potentially players who are on the fence or maybe haven't heard about your game. So if you're on the fence and then it's like, oh, if I buy this game now or get this game, I can reap the rewards and get these benefits myself. Or if you've just never heard of a game before, with the bigger games, that's not as likely. But with smaller games, if you see a streamer that you watch play a game because they've been incentivized to play it via the drops scheme, you might think, oh, I'm going to pick that up because we know that consumers put a lot of investment into streamers with their time, and a lot of that is because they see these people as authorities and take things as it's a good recommendation tool. If a person that you follow and respect as a streamer plays a game and is advocating for it, you're more likely to want to play it. And another benefit outside of that is we know that 49% of 18 to 34-year-olds who play games are more likely to play a game if they feel part of a community. And Twitch is a great place for a community to foster. If you're watching a stream with hundreds, thousands of other people, you're there. That's a community. That's a community right there that you're getting involved in. So it can kind of, if you don't have a community, it can help kickstart a community, or if you already have a strong community, like a lot of these games that do it have, which helps them get a lot of attention. It can help bring more people into it and help sustain the community and really give something back to your players, which is really important as well. It's not just about trying to bring new people in or get people back playing. That's a big part of it, but also it's to reward your loyal fans who play your game and watch your game on Twitch as well. It's giving something back, and it fosters goodwill, and it just shows that the developer cares about their existing players as well.
Yeah. And you mentioned that a few studios are doing this, probably some that people have heard of. I mean, who are the kind of big players in the minute in Twitch drops? Who's doing it well? Who should people be checking out in terms of successful campaigns?
So Rust did kind of rocketed at the start of the year. They did their first drops in January, and when they did it, so they were starting from a pretty good base on Twitch anyway. It was a pretty well streamed game. It kind of wasn't out of nowhere, but they did Twitch drops. Their first one's in January. They've got one running now, which is their 7th round. So they're keeping going with it. And in January, their hours watched went up by 891%, which gives you a bit of a flavor for like how impactful this was being. They were starting from a big base, so that actually took them up to like 190 million hours watched in January for the whole month. And as I said, they've done that consistently, so they're obviously seeing that that's working for them, and they want to keep it up to maintain those streamer numbers. They're still kicking around in the top 10 most streamed games. Most recently, and as you alluded to at the start, which is kind of why we're talking about it this week, is No Man's Sky just did it, and we helped them with some of that side of it, and they did phenomenally well. It was their first Twitch Drops campaign, and some of the stats, which thanks to Sully Gnome, which is where I've got these from. So if you want Twitch stats, check that site out. It's really, really helpful. But so yeah, I said in January, Rust increased their viewer hours by 891% for the time that No Man's Sky ran their campaign over the bank holiday weekend. They went up by 3,764% of hours watched, which is huge. They rocketed from not being that much of a streamed game into the top 50 most streamed games over that period, which is a huge jump, and that just shows you the impact it can have. Like, you don't have to be starting from being in the top 10 of Twitch to have an impact. You can make a big impact from anywhere, really. So so just some other stats with the No Man's Sky one. The hours broadcast went up by 230%. The average viewers went up by 3,700%. So these are big jumps for a 5-day run of drops. So there's really, really big gains to be had. And another interesting one I just wanted to talk about was Valorant. So when Valorant came out last year, I think it was, they engaged in Twitch Drops before the game even came out. They did it through a beta, and essentially they reached out to prominent streamers to stream the beta, and the drop essentially was getting people keys to be part of the beta, which then starts the chain reaction of people get a key for the beta, and then they play it, and people can get drops off them, and it grows and grows and grows. And they, I don't know whether it's been beaten, but at the time they had the record for the most hours watched in a single day, which was 34 million hours, and that was before the game even released. So that was an interesting one. And I said one more. I've just got one more as well. Escape from Tarkov. They do Twitch Drops pretty regularly, and they're quite high now in the Twitch most streamed. And this kind of stat kind of shows the impact. So they ran their first Twitch Drops at the end of December 2019. It ran from the 30th of December to the 5th of January, and they got 30 million hours watched in that 5-6 day period. Up until that point in 2019, for the rest of the year, they'd had 60 million hours watched total. So in the space of 5 days, they brought in 50% of what they'd done for the other 360 days of the year. So that's phenomenal, and because they do it consistently, they're still up there around in the top 20, top 30 most streamed games. And as you see, like, they came from 60 million in a year is not to be sneezed at, but then when you do 30 million in the next 5 days, it shows the impact it has, and they're sustaining themselves up there because they're doing it on a consistent basis. And I think that's the key. Like, if you do it all the time, it kind of loses its luster. It's kind of like it's expected, and it's hard to kind of keep that momentum if it's on all of the time. So it's finding that cadence, I guess, of when is the right time to turn it on and off, because you want to be keeping those viewers, because as I mentioned at the beginning, there's lots of benefits to have people watching your game on Twitch. So as I said, Rust is now in its 7th round, and we're the 4th month of the year, so this is the 4th month of they're doing it. So they've done 7 to give you an idea of kind of the cadence that they run.
What about the psychology of what the drops are? Like, do you have any insights to share about like what kind of items really get people excited? I'm guessing these are mostly cosmetic items across these games. Are there specific ways maybe to try and drive further engagement in terms of the stuff that you're offering? Because I guess if you're offering stuff no one wants, then why would they bother? Yeah,
exactly. It's got to be enticing, and I think what you want to what you want to do kind of psychologically, and I haven't got much data behind it, it's just my opinion of how I think you probably want to go about it. I think early doors for like a low watch time, you want to give something quite enticing. Obviously not the top tier, because what you don't want people to do is come and watch for 30 minutes and go because they've got something incredible. You want to build it up, but your first item needs to be enough to hook you in, to make you think, oh, I will, even to get the people like, oh yeah, I'm only going to watch 30 minutes, I'll grab that and go. Because once you've got someone in, if you've got engaging streamers, which a lot of them are, that's why they're successful and people watch them, you will stay for longer. And I guess the psychology is the longer you stay, the better it gets. So if you're going to put something in for, say, 3, 4, 5 hours worth of watching, that needs to be worth it. So yeah, I would say you want to start off with something small but enticing, and then you want to gradually build it up, because you don't want your like 5-hour reward to kind of be like, oh, that wasn't worth waiting. It needs to be better than what you get for watching for 30 minutes to an hour, because you're putting that investment in.
Yeah, it needs to be a bit of a hierarchy, maybe sweeten the deal on the first one.